Welcome back to Deadlines and Detours. Today, excellent one. Managed to speak with John Jary. Known John for about 20 years, amazing guy. Started me off actually in this space, so we do touch on that. But today, what we talked about was SEO, mainly backlinks, how one huge celebrity changed the face of the company he was working for ages, basically kickstarted his idea to actually move forward with e-commerce and all of those things. Touch on AI, GEO, completely new thing to me as well. Why originality is always best for images, not using stock images, and then how we look at the way that design principles can actually affect e-commerce. It's a really fascinating chat, lots of fun. Let's dig in.
Okay,
It's fine.
but it plays into SEO amazing.
Can I just not use stock imagery?
You're taking a step forward in this. You're just going to love it. That's the way you brought that up. Yeah, man, I'm a completionist.
John Jary is an experienced web and SEO strategist with over 17 years of industry experience and more than 13 years specializing in SEO. He trained under Hayen Payson, a master SEO strategist who has worked with the likes of UFC and Google. John has helped businesses strengthen their online visibility and reach through proven optimization strategies. He currently manages multiple e-commerce sites, including New York's LiveLive and top-notch Microgreens, while also bringing over 20 years professional experience in digital and graphic design and 6 years portrait photography experience through his creative and entrepreneurial work. John's career spans the early days of e-commerce before it was even a buzzword, through today's hyper-competitive digital landscape. He's seen platforms rise, fall, and even flash. His unique perspective on how creativity and strategy can work together and build businesses that last. And I can say he's one of my best friends. John, welcome to Deadlines and Detours.
Hello, mate. So nice to be here.
I know, this is always nice. I could say I like to do intros. When I sort of reviewed you, I think, gosh, all of those times that we spent talking through different web things over the years. So yeah, welcome today. The format's pretty relaxed. We're just going to chat through. I've got a series of a few questions to keep us on sort of topic, but really it's Deadlines and Detours. So if we go off track, there's no problem at all. How I tend to introduce us or the guests would be for you to explain a little bit about what you do. But I think it'd be quite nice for me to just touch on that I wouldn't be doing this today without our progress and what we did together. So 20 plus years ago, you were out in New York, which I'm sure you're going to talk about and everything at the moment. And you suggested that maybe that was the time that I should come out. And in that time, that's where I learned websites and working and really the hustle of working in a big city. Without those days, I wouldn't be what I'm doing today. So kind of thank you. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think it's
You did it all yourself, mate.
well, I don't know about that. So I guess just really a bit of a sort of a touch point on you. You know, how did you get into where you are today, and what sort of pulled you into building websites?
I think it was just exciting. I mean, the .com bubble, the whole, everyone was going crazy. Everybody wanted a website,
Absolutely, yeah.
but not many people could actually build them. I mean, it was kind of a difficult thing to do. I remember Dreamweaver was like an amazing kind of step forward.
Oh my
in
God!
the interface. It made it a little bit more easier for people to do stuff for media with the Flash component. I mean, that was awesome to kind of play around with, but it wasn't really functional as a website. Flash websites, they took like 4 minutes to load.
They were unbearable, weren't they? I remember getting a how to learn Dreamweaver big book magazine, and it came with Dreamweaver on the front, and I'm reading through all of that, and I think by the time I got to the end of it, I think it was out of date then. And yeah, that first website that I built, it must have been 4 or 5 minutes to load, if you could load it on the browser and if you had the right plugins and if, you know, can you imagine saying that to someone today? So yeah, crazy time.
It was great. It was good to learn Dreamweaver, kind of led on to other platforms that even made, you know, every step forward is like an easier step for the user. But Dreamweaver was definitely the first thing that kind of brought me into building websites.
Definitely.
I mean, the first website that I worked on with LiveLive was it was so basic. I mean, we actually had a green background with white text. So this is the crazy stuff people were doing back then to kind of be a little bit different. But yeah, it definitely didn't work from the user's perspective.
I remember working on one of the first ones that I did, and the guy that I was working to was insistent. He loved this song. I'm sure we probably didn't even own the rights for it, but he loved this song. So we had to load the whole file up, which was only 6-7 meg. But back in the day where 6-7 meg was a premium, I think it had to load all of that before the song even played, and for no reason whatsoever. God. For absolutely no reason whatsoever. Yeah. Which I guess takes us to the kind of like the early days of being like one of the touch points of e-commerce. You know, you sort of touched on sort of LiveLive, and we'll cover back that again in a minute. But what was it like being one of the kind of forefronts of kind of really e-commerce for a, you know, a quote unquote normal shop, like a town in the city, admittedly New York City, but a shop saying, look, we need to reach out. What were those sort of memories like?
Yeah, I remember it being really, just exciting and cool. It's like another way to reach like a whole new customer base. It was pretty phenomenal, really. I mean, it's literally worldwide. It wasn't just the local people walking around. You could draw in, sales from everywhere. I mean, we were kind of a niche market, so the more customers that we could break out into, the better. I mean, we've both been into tech for so long. It's exciting. It's exciting just to create. We had like 1,000 products, but to go into each page and create the product image, create all the descriptions, and, you know, I kind of love that stuff.
I mean, I remember I had no idea really back then how much work that you guys were putting into that. It was just a website. But now when I think about all of the things that have to go in just for a single product. Now I will sort of say that you guys had a bit of a sort of good start, because you were in like the coolest part of New York, and I think you had some like pretty cool customers as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we were in the Lower East Side in New York City, kind of the hip area. But a lot of celebrities kind of lived in the area, and they would pop in, and I mean, awesome people. But they had a lot of money to spend, so we were happy.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I remember a story about one of these celebrities. I'm sure you sort of, you know, happy to say who it was and stuff, that kind of mentioned one of the products that you were using, and then that really just like hit the site. So there's more sales, but full and digital.
Yeah, I think we had I think our first website went up in 2003, which was the green background one. That lasted about 4 or 5 years for some reason. But then we changed to like a more updated one in 2008. I kind of redid the whole website. And then we had a customer, Cara Delevingne, wonderful lady.
Of course.
And good friends with Georgia May Jagger, Mick Jagger's daughter. So they used to come in all the time. She loved our Be Yummy Skin Food, which is our face moisturizer that we've made for over 20 years. She loved it. She was in this video. I think it was a Vogue video, but she happened to pull it out of her bag and talk about it. So it kind of just
that's those moments are like lightning. Yeah.
It's like all the top magazines. They just all wanted a bit of Be Yummy Skin Food and what Cara Delevingne was talking about, and they wanted to know us. So we had all these backlinks coming in from all these different high authority websites, and it just shot us up for like the next 5 years. It was an amazing experience. That's kind of when we realized that we had to step up our game, because what we were displaying to our customers, all these new customers, that we needed to kind of improve that and make them into long-term customers.
Yeah, I mean, today, I think, gosh, could you imagine it today on, it takes a celebrity a few seconds to go onto like Instagram or TikTok or something, and it hit. And that nowadays can kill a site in a second. It can just sort of, you know, if the site's not ready to be able to take that amount of customers in one. I guess that was a real touch into what those early days of influencer would really do. It just takes one famous person to sort of just mention, I like this, and then everyone goes out and buys it the next day. And I guess that really hasn't changed today. Even more so, I guess it's paid to kind of do that as well.
Right. Yeah, and like Google, I mean, SEO has been very important for websites, but to get like a huge impact like that is like, it's it's priceless.
Yeah, definitely. I guess we can't all have, Cara Delevingne selling our products. So let's go back to SEO and kind of what you learned and what you learned under Hay and Payson. I mean, huge player in the industry, massively influential, certainly in the early kind of sort of to mid 2010s, I guess. Well, tell me the story. How did that even come around?
Yeah, it was all because of this massive influx of customers. We realized we had to do something else. We have to improve our game. So we brought in Hainan, and he just taught me everything that I know about SEO, all the basics, the meaning behind the basics, which is really important. It's like, why are you doing what you're doing? He's an amazing person, great teacher.
Yeah.
The way that he could explain like difficult concepts and just break it down, and you're doing this because of this, and he was just highly influential.
Yeah, and you touched on it right there. What you said, and everyone I've spoken to on this podcast has said the same thing. And it's the why. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to do digital transformation? Why are you doing marketing? Why are you doing sales? And if you can't answer that question, then rarely are you a success. And that's three conversations here, and three people have said the same thing. So there's definitely something there. It's definitely something we need to dig into in further episodes around the why. Yeah. So how would you say that SEO has evolved since the early 2000s?
Yeah. So Google's like the king. It's like you do whatever Google says. It gives you a list of things that you should do to rank highly. You always listen to what they say. They call it good practices, SEO good practices. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of basic 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but it hasn't changed much. It's just refined. Like everything's 10 years ago, an e-commerce site, it would be good if you had 2 images per product, but now they recommend 3 images.
Okay, yeah.
Different kind of, the mobile devices kind of entered the scenes, got massive. So it's kind of increasing your page speed, so the user will kind of browse your site and it'll be efficient for them to browse it. So image optimization is key.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is probably the backlink authority. Like that's never changed. So
Go on.
Getting
Tell me more.
Getting links from like pages with authority to link back to your site. It's getting those.
Okay.
So that was important back then. Still very important today, for sure.
Okay. So I guess does that then still, in a more modern world where you talk about mobile phones being sort of, the lead device, I guess, because that's all we seem to do anything on nowadays. I think certainly myself, unless I'm doing something really important, seemingly important, I'll do it on a computer, but everything else I'll do on my phone. I guess those backlinks, is that kind of like social media links and links to those kind of things? Or is that a different sort of backlink?
That's something that, everybody should have. That's the standard backlinks.
Right.
Or the social media.
Yeah.
Whatever kind of business listing. Yeah, they're standard. Everybody should have that. That's not difficult to get. You just sign up to them and they'll link back to you. But the real ones are like to magazines, the places that people go to get information. Oh, what's the newest thing?
Got you.
There's a whole art in like creating a press kit to speak to the reporters, the journalists, like send them information. Oh, we got this new product coming out. It's amazing. Go check it out. And then hopefully they'll write an article about it and then link back to you.
Got you.
So we had the fortunate position with Cara Delevingne where it kind of automatically happened because all these magazines, they wanted this newest information on Cara Delevingne. So we didn't have to do much, but it kind of made us realize what these backlinks authority was, how important it was.
Yeah, I guess that was sort of a by sort of circumstance where you maybe wouldn't have stumbled. You probably would have learned it, and that would have come naturally. But I guess it gave you that influx, and I guess almost gave you a toolkit of, okay, I see how this works, and sort of build some of the collateral art to sit around that for sort of future advertising. So I know you guys have been featured in a fair few things over the years, and is that more through your making or happy circumstance again, or a bit of both?
Yeah, I'll say a bit of both. I have and have. Yeah. we've definitely done our work. We send, samples and our press kits out. Yeah, we've got a few leads from that, but it's usually people have heard about us from somewhere, and then
Sure.
they decide to write about us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just got
Yeah.
Business of the Month for the Lower East Side like a couple of years ago. For that, that's another thing that we didn't actively go after, but we were just recognized for doing what we do.
Which is mad, isn't it? To think in probably the busiest, most active city in the world, that you can even rank in there, even be entered in there, let alone win something like that. That's just that's outrageous, really. Absolutely outrageous. I think people,
Google, I'm going to go back to Google a lot because
let's
it's so important, doing everything that they say.
Yeah, I'm gonna push you on some of these questions in a minute, because I think although Google is key now, and I think we're definitely going to say the AI word at some point, so I'm holding off as long as possible. But I guess my question: do you think it will always be Google? Are we starting to see a trend at all of Google missing, or do you think Google's just dominant for the foreseeable, and there's almost no point of the others, or are you seeing a shift or anything like that at all?
I think Google has got so much information, past information, 20 years, and it's just hoarding all this information that people want and don't have. So I think they're going to be king for the next 10 years, 15 years. AI is actually using Google it's getting its information from the Google.
Of course. Yeah.
But other players, I mean, Bing, Yahoo, they're kind of big in their own spaces, but
I feel like Bing has a good swing every couple of years, and then there's a little buzz where everyone goes, Bing's going to be the one, and then and it just falls away. Bless Bing, poor Bing. Okay, so just moving away from Google for a second, is there a kind of going back to your sort of learnings, is there an evergreen strategy, an evergreen principle for SEO that still rings true kind of today? Free advice, really.
I'd say it's hard to put it down to kind of just one thing. I'm going to mention maybe 2 or 3.
Please, yeah.
I mean, content is king. I don't think I've ever said king so much in my life, like in the past. Content is king. It's like the whole point of SEO is providing an answer to the customer's query. It's providing the solution. So you want to have content that will kind of display all the answers, everything that the customer wants to know about something, and showing it that Google that we have the answers. So I would say content, writing really creative content, informative. Don't make it too long. It doesn't have to be 5,000 words on each page. It can be precise. But I would say content is definitely still key. I'm going to say page optimization, page speed.
Okay.
I think it's still important. I know the internet is so fast these days, but because everybody's on mobile, so I've got to account for maybe a slower speed on the mobile, and you're putting more information on one page, so everything's got to be kind of optimized correctly for the user to like. Maybe backlink. I'm going to come back to backlink. Backlinks are very, very important. So it transfers the authority of other pages onto yours. So you've got to have as many people pointing towards you as you can to show Google that, other people are recognizing you as you're the authority in your space. So I think those 3 kind of good ones.
They're evergreen. I'm thinking, so definitely page speed. I mean, we talk about internet being fast now. It is until it's not, right? I travel a lot on the train, and it drops down to almost a crawl. And if you're looking for something and it just doesn't come up and stuff, and then there are other pages where it definitely does work quicker. So there are definitely, and if I'm looking at 2 pages and one's going to load and one's not going to load, it's simply going to lose, right? Is it not because I want it to? It's just, well, I can't read it, so I'm going to go here. So I think definitely that the backlinks one, I think, is really interesting, because I guess no matter how good your product is and how great, I launch a product today, I guess there's still that hard work that you need to do to make sure that it's seen in the right places, and just putting it out online doesn't necessarily work. And I guess then with all of the good SEO content in the world, unless you've got those other key things. They're the things that separate you out. And that's that leading back to the content, good quality content, good referrals and sort of backlinks. And people being able to actually see it, which is quite useful. Yeah. Okay. No, really, really useful. Thank you. So let's move away slightly from tech for a minute, although it doesn't really change. I know. What we're going to do.
Where are we going?
I don't. We're going on like a massive journey. But you're not just SEO. I said about it in the kind of intro. You do photography. You are a creative. You care about the way things look. I think we touch on that. I don't think there's any shame in saying that both of us like a video game. Would log on, play it. That's really pretty. Log off. You would search for every single chest key thing. You care about the detail. The detail is incredibly important to you, which kind of, I guess, leads into that kind of design. So with your creative graphic design skills, your sort of photography, marketing and branding, how does all of that fit into SEO? Is it something that you just enjoy because you're John, or is it something you feel that actually is useful and builds into that sort of tool set? I think we need to talk about sort of the creativity, the marketing and branding. And I think, I touched on it at the top of the conversation. You've been doing graphic design, photography for years, and all of those things play into SEO. But I think if we just sort of take a step back, and I can mention that we're both massive nerds and do a bit of gaming from time to time. I will buy a game, play it for 20 minutes. Oh, that's really pretty. It's the best game ever. We should definitely do this. And then flitter off like a butterfly onto the next thing. Whereas you will play that game, you'll pick up every single thing, every single chest key or whatever it happens to be obsessively. And then there's me go, let's do the next thing. You'll go, no, this has to be done exactly right. So with all of that said, how does design, marketing, branding, imagery play into SEO? Is that something that you do because you enjoy it, or is it something that is actually a useful tool in SEO?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, good. I love the way you brought that up. Man, I'm a completionist. So it's like I have to find everything. I have to do every mission. It's like it's just something weird about me that I just have to do it. It's like it'd be crazy not to do it. But it works.
I would argue it's crazy to do it, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Yeah.
But it plays into SEO amazingly, because when you've got like 1,000 images and you've got to do alt tags or change the name of the image 1,000 times, it's like, yes. It's like, I can't wait to do it. It's like an urge, it's a need.
You're a dream for it.
Yeah.
So talk to me around that then. So if I was to make a website today and I would get my SEO correct and jump in where I'm wrong here. So I built my site. I've got 20 products and I've listed them all out nicely. Can I get so difficult to explain? Maybe if I'm selling a pair of headphones, my headphones are the same as your headphones. Can I just not use stock imagery? Is that not the way to do it, or things like that? Or do you think that, changing the way that you present items, does that make a difference to people?
It definitely does. It definitely does. I would also always say, take the images of the products that you will make in yourself, if you can.
Okay.
Because you're going to display it. Everybody's creative in some way. I'm sure that they could do a good job of it. But if you're selling somebody, it depends if it's somebody else's product, like the store LiveLive. It's like, we can grab their imagery, the people who made the products, so we can use it in that sense. But LiveLive, we also make 300 of our own products.
Of course.
So we can display it exactly how we want to. There's no stock imagery that's going to have that. So you kind of have to do it yourself anyway. I'm just fortunate that I have a photography background. I can use that skill, which I think photography, because it kind of gives you a good eye, like what looks good, the composition of a photo, and especially design work. If you're dealing with like coming up with the branding for your company, they all kind of work together and kind of my recent business, I came up with the top-notch microgreens. You can see the microgreens in the back here. But I love coming up with.
We'll go to that.
Yeah, the whole branding. You've got to have the right color palette. You've got to choose the colors you want. Everything's just got to look crisp and professional. And I love to do these things myself.
I think so, and I think you have to stand out now in the world where anyone can create content, anyone can put stuff out. But I troll through loads of stuff, and there is a definite difference in saying you have to be graduated into the art school of thing, but someone who understands. I think if you understand art, photography, or something, then you have that eye for the balance, the way things should look. That definitely is very much different than someone who doesn't. And we see this in tech quite often. I certainly see it in tech where maybe a developer might just say, well, that works, that's functional, that's exactly how it should be. And then someone like myself will be, yes, it does. But, should we think about making it maybe something a little bit more attractive to the customer? Not always just products as well, just anything. You've got to think about the customer at the end of the day, and who's buying your product and what their experience of it is. And it might be a product on a website, or it might be a back-end system that no one uses. But if you're not going to want to use it and actually adopt it, then yeah, who would pick that over stock imagery? So yeah, okay. Right. I think we sort of like talked around that question, but I guess the answer really is about good imagery, good branding, and all of that is part of that SEO.
Yeah, it's all got to be cohesive. Like it's all going to come together. So
right. So I said I wasn't going to talk about AI. Well, I didn't say I wasn't going to talk about AI. I said we would get onto AI. So GEO, I think it's a bit like SEO. It's something that came up in the search terms when sort of doing a bit of research ahead of our conversation. I believe it's something AI. I'm going to hand over to you. You could sort of give us a bit of a brief on GEO and the kind of impact of SEO. Lots of acronyms there.
Yeah, definitely. Too many acronyms. All right. So GEO stands for Generative Engine Optimization. Okay. So basically, it's the same principle as SEO, search engine optimization, but instead of Google search, which is what we're trying to optimize for with SEO, it's now generative. So it's the section that when you put a search into Google, it'll come up with like an AI response, which will give you kind of a summary or summarization.
At the top.
Yeah. And it'll give you the answer to the question. But what an AI is really doing is it's crawling all of the other websites for your query, and it's displaying what it thinks is the best answer to your query, which is upsetting a lot. It's upsetting a lot of people because it's stopping people clicking on websites because you're getting the answer right there on the page without having to go anywhere.
How useful do you find that is if you were to look for one of the products that you were to sell now online? Is it useful? Is it something Google are doing to help me and annoy you, or is it actually annoying to me and you? What is it something that is actually helpful, or is it just a new flavor of the month?
Yeah, I don't think it's affecting e-commerce at the moment because it cannot say, oh, what's the best product for a knee injury? It's not going to show you. It's not going to show you one product which it thinks is the best, because that would not be good. They'll be sued and whatever. Yeah. For e-commerce, it's not really affecting it, but it's information websites, things like Wikipedia. Wikipedia is going to be gone in 5 years because it's.
Yeah, it must be. It must be. Yeah. I don't know how that can continue on. Saying that, I mean, I use Wikipedia all the time, and I still. Do you know what I use Wikipedia for now? Finding people's birthday, finding celebrities, how old celebrities are. It's the only thing. Whenever I type in how old is X celebrity, it's always a Wikipedia search. Other than that, I don't think I use it for anything. Yeah.
Right. But you won't have to because it'll say, "Oh, this celebrity's so."
Pull it. Yeah. And I have started to see that. Yeah, I have started to see that more recently as well. Probably in weeks and a few months rather than longer than that. I'm seeing my search results are definitely different now. I get that, like I say, that chunk at the top. I'm skeptical, so I tend to just scan that a little bit, and then I go down looking. Maybe it's because I'm old and I just want what I know, but I do tend to scroll down. But I guess it's just they'll push it, they'll tweak it, and all of a sudden that will just be how we find the answers for everything. So I guess we got to be ready. So for that, is that something then that you can prepare websites for, this GEO?
Yeah, so it's working on the same principle as SEO. So you need to provide the answer to the customer or person's query that they put into the Google search. So if you can, instead of showing up on the top 10, on the first page, sorry, for Google, that was the goal for the past 15 years, show up on the first page. That's what you got to do. But now it's like the goal is to get your bit of information being shown by the GEO, by the generative AI.
New game.
Yeah, but it's more for, it's not really affecting e-commerce sites, but if you've got a blog on your e-commerce site, then that's with recipes, all things like that. You want that to show. So it does affect e-commerce sites, but it's mainly how-to information websites, things like that.
I guess it can give you a bit of a validity, as in if you're, like baking, let's say, if your recipes start getting referenced a lot at the top, then maybe if you are selling some bakery goods, then I guess you'll pull from there. But it's not directly buy here. It's more the information that might take you to some long form content. So I guess that's something that people could look at, is that good quality. Well, it's what you said at the top, wasn't it? Content is king. I guess nothing changes. Content is still king, and now it's just being repurposed in a slightly different format. Yeah.
Yep. Totally.
Nice. Good. Right. Deadlines, detours, divert. We've been quite professional, I think, for us. I think it's quite good. I'm sort of quite proud of ourselves. War stories or moments or a project that went not quite how you wanted it to. It doesn't have to be e-commerce. We can certainly take a tip here. But if you've got anything that you wanna sort of share, this is the time.
Yeah, mate. Kind of feel sick just thinking about it. But
I love this.
I'm gonna pull through. All right. It was back in my photography days, like 2013, 2014. I was kind of getting really into photography, kind of learning all the aspects of photography, all these different styles, panning techniques, low light photography. But my main thing I was doing was portrait photography and headshots. That was kind of the thing I loved. But I loved ambient light. That was my key thing. I wanted to use whatever light was possible or in the area. I would take advantage of it and make the image look beautiful.
The principles of photography, right? Yeah, these are.
Yeah. So I had one of my good friends, Gigi. She used to work at the store as well, but she studied graphic design at NYU. She happened to know the assistant for one of the big doctors in New York City. I don't know if I should say his name, Doctor. But you can clip it out.
I wouldn't. No, we'll leave it out. We'll leave it out just in case.
Yeah,
but one of the main doctors. Yeah, okay. So a big deal.
Yeah, he was like a big author. He was like he's on the New York Times best-selling list like multiple times. Every book he came out with. Gigi was friends with the assistant of him. I shouldn't speak of him like that. His assistant. So, and Gigi told her that I was big into photography and I was a good photographer, and so she got me the job to take photos of a book release party, which was like it was a big event. It was like lots of celebrity, rich people there. It was in this fancy building, and so I was employed to go in and kind of take pictures of all the people that were there, holding the book, and go up to them. Hey, you look gorgeous tonight. You mind if I take a photo of you? And so that went on for like an hour, and I made the decision beforehand to not use Flash. I was totally against Flash photography for some reason at that point. So I had to use whatever light was in this building, and of course it wasn't very good light. It was very like candle lit almost. So my ISO was in the thousands to try and make the use of whatever light was possible.
God.
So I'd taken pictures of everybody. It was actually going all right. I was creating some good images. I know I would have to do some work in the editing process at the end to kind of brighten everything up a little bit. But I got to the stage where I met Dr. Hyman. So he wanted a few photos taken of him with his friends and whatever. I went up there, I'm getting ready. I'm like, okay, you all look great. Yeah, if you can move over a little bit, big photo. So I'm taking photos, and of course, there's no flash coming out. And he looked at me with, he gave me this look of like disgust. It was like disgust and hatred.
Right.
He's like,
Oh, no.
why haven't you used the flash? And it's like, I was like, oh my goodness. It's like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, it's gonna be all right. I know what
No.
I'm doing.
Trust the process.
But yeah, it wasn't what he was expecting. He was, expecting flashes to go off all the time. And
Yeah,
yeah,
the
so that
classic
was like
sort
a,
of paparazzi style.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I didn't give
So how
that to
were the
him.
photos? How were the photos?
They came out okay. I mean, they used a few of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, okay. So, maybe you were just ahead of your time. You were just you should have just span it as, this is new. This is New York, baby. This is how we take photos now, sort of
Yeah,
thing. But
yeah.
yeah, there's that other cringe moment. I can imagine that was bad. I've got one to share, but not for today. Around a dubstep video for a company that we thought was ultra cool. We walked into a big redundancy, unbeknown to us, dropped a dubstep video, but I'll share it for another day because the person hopefully will come on the podcast and we can relive it together. So
Wicked.
thank you for that. That's really good. How do we move on from that? How do we balance the human side of digital? What I'm a big believer in digital rarely fixes anything, rarely solves any problem. It's a necessity, it helps us, it's an aid, it's a tool. But how do you balance the human side to tech?
Yeah, I guess I would say that I don't like to kind of overcomplicate things. I'd like to see it as what would I like? What would I like to see in a website? What functionality would I like?
Yeah.
What different apps and things would I enjoy on a website that I'm browsing? I don't want to make it too, graphics popping up over here and different stuff going on. Then I'm not going to use. I don't know. I would say keep it simple and focus on kind of what you want out of it. What would make your own experience pleasurable, and just put that into whatever project you're doing. How you would see it from your perspective.
That's really interesting. All I could think of while you were telling me that answer is that we started off talking about Flash and not using Flash, and then you sold a story about not actually using Flash, and I feel like that's perfect. I didn't know it was happening, so I'm definitely going to have to ease that into some sort of title of the show. Okay, I don't think we can sort of pretend that there isn't a load of things behind you growing or something. I'm assuming this isn't Breaking Bad and there's some weird stuff going on. Tell me a little bit about what that is, and kind of, I'm assuming that's something to do with top-notch microgreens. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing there and what kind of excites you about what you can do with digital and organic, clearly.
Yeah. So, well, I moved out of New York City about 3-4 years ago. The city got a bit crazy during the pandemic, so me and my brother decided to come down to sunny old Florida for protection, I guess. But yeah, it didn't work out good in that sense. But yeah, I was still working remotely. I was still running the website for LiveLive. I still am. But I needed kind of something else to kind of fill my time. And I've always been in the health industry. And I was thinking of kind of two options to go for kind of for money, to create some money. It was either growing mushrooms because they're high profit crop, or microgreens. And I kind of went with microgreens. No, for everybody who doesn't know what microgreens are, it's the first 10 days growth of a typical vegetable plant, like kale or broccoli. And this is when they're at their peak nutrition. It's in the 10th day. For some crazy reason. And most of them have up to 40 times the nutrition of the adult vegetable. So it's like almost like a multivitamin in food format. You just need a little bit to get all the vitamins you need, all the minerals you need. So yeah, and it was kind of a challenge as well. It's kind of difficult to grow, especially in this climate, in the humidity and heat of Florida. So it's kind of a challenge to do that, which I always embrace.
Do they have to be kept in inside all the time then? You can't grow them outside in Florida, I guess.
Yeah, you definitely grow them inside under lights, and you've got to control the humidity, temperature, correct airflow. But yeah, it's just a passion of mine right now. I'm trying to get to,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to perfection. Try to have the perfect grow to say, and all of
Trying
them
to
all grew
collect
perfect.
trying to
Yeah,
collect all of those boxes and stuff. Yeah, no, I mean it is fascinating. And when you said about it, a couple of years ago, I was like, okay, right, that's interesting. And now I just see it everywhere. I see people talking about it. So again, you're ahead of the curve on that. And I guess with that and your ability to promote that online and stuff like that, it's just a perfect storm of a passion and the skill set being able to match together. Cool. Well, I'll make sure that we'll put it in. I'm assuming this is probably more of a UK based kind of podcast. I'm assuming you don't ship internationally at the moment. Is that something, or do you?
we
Don't know.
don't ship our microgreens themselves, but we have a
Yeah.
product. It's called Micro Dust. We're the first people to do this in the world.
Okay. Okay.
So we dehydrate our microgreens, turn them into a powder, and we mix a few different herbs and spices with them. So it's a superfood seasoning. That's what we're calling it. So we have like
Okay.
chocolate flavor, we have ranch flavor, cheesy, and it's microgreen powder. So you've got all the vitamins, all the minerals there, and you basically get a serving of vegetables in each sprinkle of this superfood seasoning. So that it's got a year-long shelf life. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. We can ship that worldwide. Um, but yeah,
Excellent.
microgreens we cannot do anything with. Yeah, it's just a
Feel like this is
local.
going to make you shudder. But my favorite thing, the thing I miss most about America, is Cheetos. I love Cheetos.
What?
I obsessed over Cheetos. But there is a thread here. Jalapeno ones, if you're asking. I wonder, I wonder, and the dust. I wonder whether you could create a flavor of microgreen dust that tastes like Cheetos
Oh
that
my!
you would have a customer. I would be all over that. Just there you go. Just even now thinking about it, I'm just thinking, where can I get some Cheetos now? The only place you can get them is in these American candy stores, and they are like £16 for a pack of Cheetos. Yeah, I still buy them. I love them. That's really interesting, John. What I'll do is I'll put any of the sort of links to the site and where people can learn a bit more down below. I think it is fascinating, and I know whenever you do something like that, you go 100%, and it will be perfection. Which if I did it, they would all be dead, and I'd moved on to something else by now. So yeah, it's it's very, very exciting. Okay, some quick fire out questions, and then I will let you go. SEO myth you wish would die now.
Hold on a second. Mate, can you restart? Sorry, I just had to turn the page.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, we're running a little longer. So what I will do is I'll start to wrap up, but there are definitely some questions that I want to just fire at you quickly. A SEO myth that you wish would just die.
SEO myth. I would say, as we talked about backlinks before, the authority, you want the authority coming from different websites to make you the authority on the subject. So I'd say myth is that all backlinks are created equal. That's a big myth. So
Okay.
there's certain sites you kind of don't want to be listed on, like directory sites. There's places that you can actually pay to have your link on there, and it's kind of Google sees it as kind of spammy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would say stick to like the social medias, all those accounts, Yelp, any kind of business promoting or established companies' websites, but don't do the ones that you have to pay for.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess this is Google's never stupid, right? Google always knows. I mean, back in the early days, I remember putting in blank metadata pages, invisible text on pages and stuff to try and fool Google. I think it fooled it for like a day, and then everyone realized, they realized. I guess these sites are similar. They set up these kind of aggregate referral sites, but Google knows. Google knows everything, I guess.
Yeah,
So that.
same with the keyword stuffing, which is kind of
Yeah.
going
Okay.
into what you were talking about then. stuff in as
Is
many.
that still a practice that people do now? Is it? Do people still try and do that now? Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I would say they do.
Mm,
But it's not a good thing because, yeah, Google, of course, knows. It's got to be, you've got to, of course, have your keywords that you've thoroughly researched and are going
mm,
forward to be
mm.
ranked highly. But you got to make a sentence out of it. It's got to be readable by a human because Google just knows if it's just like a string of random words that you're trying to
Google
rank.
knows everything.
Yeah.
Google knows everything. It's the Matrix.
Yeah.
Got Matrix referencing. Okay. Is there a tool that you just can't live without? And is there a tool that you hate as well? There's two questions there. So what tool can't you live without and you love it? And then what tool again do you wish you never have to use ever again?
Yeah. I would say a good tool that I use all the time it's actually a UK based company. It's called Screaming
Nice.
Frog. Screaming Frog, and they do them.
Screaming Frog.
Yep, and it's actually an
Okay.
application you can download onto your desktop. So
Okay.
you don't have to go to a website to kind of do a site audit. But that's what it does. It audits your site for SEO things that you can improve on. But it's just the whole user interface is excellent and gives you step-by-steps on what to do if you're not familiar with the SEO principles. And yeah, I would highly recommend that. There's another website that I use, SEMrush. It's a well-known site audit SEO website. Also a good one, but Screaming Frog, yeah, it's the top one for me.
Well, before you go on to the one you hate, you did me a favor there as well, because the previous podcast we got into a discussion around applications, and I am a big fan of downloading an application. I hate web-based tools, which I know goes against everything that I stand for, but I really do just enjoy downloading an application and clicking it. And I know it's just a web page in a box, but there's something I feel a lot more comfortable about. So yeah, good. I'm glad I'm not just the only one. I'm glad you said it. And then yeah, what tool do you just hate using and you wish it would die tomorrow?
I don't know about that, mate. That's all that I don't like. Hold on, let's take a break a minute. Let me think about that, mate.
Yeah, we don't have to. It was just chucking out something there, so don't worry too much. We can stop there actually, because that's it. That's fine. Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll stop at that point. I'll cut. That's fine. I'll cut that because that. I'll stop when I said about getting out. And
actually,
then,
mate, could I add something to that? The last thing I said, the Screaming Frog.
Okay, one sec. Go. Okay.
So in addition, like all these site auditing programs, which are very useful, they'll highlight issues with your web pages, what you can do to improve on them. But just bear in mind that they're there to find problems. All these site auditing websites, they'll find the minuscule little problem. It may not have anything to do with your rankings, but so just don't go too crazy if you go down the path of site auditing.
It's almost impossible to get a perfect score because they need
to
sell a subscription. Yeah, no, get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Before we go and we do a little wrap up, one piece of advice you would give for a small business today starting out, what would you say to them? Limited budget, got a product, got an idea. What would you say is the first thing they should, or their best use?
Yeah, I think there's probably a few things. I would say consistency. Consistency is key. Whether you're making a product or providing a service, make sure you're providing the same service every time. Another thing I would say is like make small improvements constantly. Just keep working. Improve it. Even you may not think this little thing's going to help, but once you've done it, it's out of the way, and you move on to something else. And you're constantly just making this step forward to what you want to achieve. Really, just keep the determination, and what you're doing is providing a good service or products, and just believe in yourself and just keep going.
That positive attitude always from you. Okay, that's all of our questions. Thank you for today. It has been really good. It's always strange I think I say that to everyone, but it's especially strange saying it to you because I've known you longer than certainly anyone I'll speak to. And we have talked more drivel over the years than anything. And it's the first time we had a grown-up conversation. So it's actually quite nice. But I've learned a lot there. It would be good. Where can people find you? The Microgreens site is?
It's topnotchmicrogreens.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just if you're in the UK, we can ship you some powders, some superfood seasonings. But yeah,
fab. I mean,
we're on social media. Everything's at Top Notch Microgreens. You check us out, Facebook, Instagram.
Cool. I'll put all the links in the show notes, and we'll share some stuff out. Thank you, John. Great. I mean, what's probably going to happen now is we're going to end this, and then we'll just have a chit chat about some enchanted sword or whatever. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks so much. It's been really great. I genuinely have learned stuff today, and it's been nice delving into the world of SEO, which is something I certainly didn't know a lot about. So yeah, thank you very much, John. See you soon.
Mate, can I say something? I love what you're doing. I'm so proud of you, mate. I love that you're taking a step forward in this like unknown place, and you just go into it. I love it, mate. Love it.
Thank you. Thanks. Oh, it made me blush. Great. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
All right, mate. Bye. Bye.